Now, when I started arm wrestling, okay, and I viewed the sport, like I thought about arm wrestling is different very much now than it was when I was coming up. When I was coming up, it was a time before the internet. And the knowledge that's out there now, I mean, is a lot different. You have tons of videos, everything. When I came up, I really didn't have a lot. And the way I viewed arm wrestling was, okay, what's happening? Starting in the middle here and we're going to the side, okay? So, and so I focused a lot on side pressure. And I think a lot of guys did. Like, I think when you look at like the bulk, like the majority of the sport now as opposed to like 25, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, you saw a lot of machines like that. You know, you saw a lot of like the great arm wrestlers training side pressure. Like I bought a table, training table off a former Canadian champion called Leanne Dufresne, and looks a lot like a table like this, okay, and it has a pulley system here, okay, it's because she was training this, and most people were, and many people still are, side pressure lead, okay. The problem is with side pressure is that the part that will fail, okay, is now everybody can benefit potentially, especially at the beginning, from a little bit of side pressure training. But I would not even tell a new guy to do it. I wouldn't. Side pressure is coming from the muscles in your body, but it transfers. Okay, it transfers through this bone and through the ligaments of your elbow. And it travels up this bone and it ends up in your hand, okay, and then the other person can feel it. But the limiting factor is never the muscles in your body. Never is. Okay, it's always, for most people, okay, I mean, amateurs may break their bone, but what's gonna happen is like, you know, 3 or 4 year arm wrestlers, guys who have been pulling a while, like strong enough to not break their bone, but you know, strong enough to get some good force going, they're gonna blow their ligaments, okay? They're gonna blow the connective tissue in their elbows. I've done it many times, okay? Happens to all arm wrestlers who are hardcore. If you're a hardcore arm wrestler, you will at some point in your career have elbow issues, okay? And you know, a big part of the sport is managing that, okay? But, so what I'm trying to say is by training it, you're training false mechanics, okay? Because side pressure happens at the end of the movement, okay? So that means you start off either pulling up or connecting, right? Inside or outside, okay? And at the end of the movement, after I'm like tapped out from what I can do muscularly, I can add a little bit of bone and connective tissue, okay? And the same thing, if I'm coming in, I'm cupping down and I'm connecting as hard as I can, and at the end of the movement, I can add a little bit. And that way is proper mechanics, okay? So I don't need to train my side pressure. I just train my fundamentals and I can add it at the end as I choose, you know? And plus, whenever you arm wrestle, you're using a ton of it, whether you want to or not, okay? Every time we're on the table, okay, you're getting stability that way, and it's more than enough. It's more than enough. If you start to focus on it, like I have many times throughout my career, every 2 or 3 years, I'm like, oh, Devin, maybe you're wrong about that side pressure thing. Maybe you need to train it again. And I'll hit it for a while and I'll do it for, you know, a couple weeks, and then I hurt my elbow. Happens every time. And I'll probably be due in about 2 years or 3 years. And I'll do it again, I'll hurt my elbow. And so I'll tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm gonna tell you what to do and substitute for it, okay? So many things feel like side pressure, right? Whenever I have too much for you, whenever you have too much for your opponent, they're gonna be like, oh, he was going to the side. He might not have been. You just got overwhelmed and you had to throw in your own side pressure, so you thought he was matching you. The supination of the hand, supination, right? It's a good way to force, you know, to aid in forcing a hook, which we'll get into later. But this motion I have found most beneficial in healing my side pressure, healing my elbow, right? Because you will get lots of injuries, okay, as time goes on, you know, if you're retarded like I am, right? But a great healer is supination training, right? So this, okay, just the ability to see your palm, okay? Because no, you don't want to see your palm, okay, if the guy is forcing you to do it, but sometimes seeing your palm is vital, okay? you can use techniques where you do force that direction, okay? And it is a subtle difference between, is that side pressure? Well, yes, there is side pressure involved, but it's the supination that is really doing the work. And supination, muscularly, all makes sense. Your body's designed to supinate to some degree, okay? But side pressure, you know, that's what your body's not really, you know, you can do it, but, you know, I don't think that there's muscles really in place to, you know, get massively stronger at side pressure.